funny. Where am I? Yep, here it is. What?
You know what the grandparents are?
No. Okay, watch this. Ignore the order at 2150. I'm being a Neanderthal. I could realistically watch tape and not trade, and I'd be better off. That's me scratching. See that? The plunge. Whether it was somebody getting liquidated or somebody throwing a large order, it was fast and violent all the way down. And the composition, we'll go into the composition a bit. 2075 to 20 even. Sellers hit heavy, 105 traded, and then 5 traded, 55, 68, and then 21 stacks something, and then 125 hits the bid again, and it's absorbed, meaning there was 4 ticks of a market depth there from the bid side that was pulled, and then that immediate rally, which is relevant relative to the profile. 2150 is a thick part of a smaller volume profile at HVN between 2225 and down to 20 even, and that pink line at the top of the screen is the VPOC, is the largest distribution of the day. Okay, so what's going to happen here is uh, we'll go back. See how all these people are flushed out, and they're flushed out heavy. Buyers is only 10, 18, 47, 71, 66, 59. And then sellers is 53, 94, 103, 130, 68, 55, 105. So that's 230 plus contracts on 2 ticks. Okay, so that should have. What I'm watching now is the reaction. We're either going to trade with these people or trade against them, depending on how the market weighs them. There's no way of knowing if it was somebody who got liquidated or if it was somebody who shot in a market sell order. But there's a disproportionate amount of sellers down there, and if price starts moving up, that's going to be 5, 6 ticks of absorption on 230 lots, which is a lot of size. I put a long in here because we don't move down off of that. We come back up to 2150 where we were sitting initially. I'll watch the composition now. 4 trades, 2125, and then the Q pulled is so fast that sellers can't. They don't have time to hit 2125 again. So it's not that they ran out of selling. It's that a buyer, by the looks of it, stepped in, and the queue was receptive to the buyer as well because it was fast. It ticked up twice. Now it's up 3 ticks, 4 ticks, and we're between 2150 and 2575. So this is where price is going to. This is where price moves in a unidirectional fashion. 43 trades at 22, only 22 on the 22 sell side. That's good. Buyers are piling in. Watch the Q, 2250, 9 on the ask, and 17 on the bid. Okay, 8 trades on the bid, and we move up. They're weighing the bid ask, they're weighing the bids. Market makers are weighing the bids more importantly than they are the sells. So that's why we only move up on 17 contracts. 10 trades, 2250 on the ask, nothing happens. I get out there kind of prematurely because I got the turn that I wanted. So at 17, notice how we're up another 4 ticks. From 21.25 to 22 even, there's 4 ticks of kind of pain. 25, 23, 43 on the bid inside prints, and it only moved up 4 ticks, and then the other 4 ticks is 22, 25, 17, 9, 11, 8. Market makers are weighing after that big liquidation event down there at 21, 25, when all those people got blown out, or that large sell order hit. Market makers are weighing buy orders more importantly than they are sell orders. They don't want to provide liquidity to buyers because they think price is going to rally. There are too many of them, or there's some underlying inventory issue. But you can't figure that out. You just have to interpret it all as emergent behavior. Uh, and so people say buyers are in control. 30 now. Buyers are piling in. What I used to do, what I did today is anytime I saw a unidirectional move in these profile nodes, I'd always look for some sort of absorption play because I liked fading them. I thought I was a genius, but what's probably going to happen 30, 30, then 15, 23, 25. Okay, tape is tightening up now because 5 hit 23.50 and they didn't move it up. 23 is a shelling point. 22.20, 22.50, and 22.75 are thinner spots in the profile. It's kind of a ledge. Buyers are stepping in now, kind of weakly, 7, 4, 9, and they're being rewarded. 31 hits and it doesn't move. And so you might say, you know, good absorption trade, go short there, but look at the context between 22.50 and 25.75. There's nothing. It's just no man's land, and we have that big order that blew up at 21.50. So that's the context, I think. And that's partially what's fueling the move up from probably a market maker perspective, is the fact that there was something like 400 contracts in a 6 tick spread that traded to the downside, and then we're trading in the opposite direction. If there was 400 contracts that traded and price sat there, I think it would be a different story. That would have changed the narrative altogether. So now I'm just kind of scalping it forward. We're forming an auction now. We're back at that stage where piling into this thing isn't really moving it anymore. So market makers are providing liquidity. There's an auction there. I try to chase here, a sort of fear of missing out trade. 23 is absorbed. 24.50 sell side. I get up for break even because I'm nervous. I'm ignoring the trades. I'm just watching tape right now. Notice how we're still in no man's land. I'm over reading flow, very light flow. Only 25 sold without any context or key level. I flip long here, but then it's too late. Okay, now active buyers are hitting. It's not specifically the Q pulling. See 70, 83 trading at 23.25, and how it doesn't move price lower. And buyers are piling in 36 and 40 now, 36.25, 40 at 50. And sellers can't keep up. Okay, look. And now the tape lightens up. It's 31, 23, 23, 21, 36, 43, 14, and then 6 at 26. But look at the Q, 25, 26, 25, and 26.50. There's a 25 there on the ask. That's what I'm watching. and the 50 disappears. That was there, and that 25 trades immediately. And then it shows up again as a 42. Okay, and then the Q pulls again, and it pulls so fast you can't see it refreshing, but there's a 7 at 26.75, a 36 at 27, a 5 at 27.25. So market makers they see this increase in buy demand into. I was sitting there, I was wondering, like an auction is supposed to go around the volume point of control, or whatever you call POC. It's supposed to sit back and forth. So why are market makers pulling their orders instead of providing liquidity relative to the profile? It's because there's so many buyers. I think there's so much strong buying that it's going to blow out here. They're going to pull and it's going to explode into the low volume node. Now I'm watching 27.25 is a shelling is a it's called a shelling point. It's an area of the trade that everybody centers around, an area of the chart. Like if you don't have a phone and you're in New York and you're trying to meet another person, a shelling point would be Grand Central Station, because you all know what Grand Central Station is. 27.25 is a value area high. It's a notch, uh, the thicker notch of the volume point of control of the day. So there has to be buyers or sellers around there who are going to make bets there, and somebody wants to trade mean reversion, so they hit 27 at 27 even and 32 at 27.25 sell side, and then a buyer piles in at 27, and then the Q pulls again. I can't see if that was order flow that pushed it because I didn't clear my bid ask. So there's buying, 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 and then the Q slowly pulls, and so you can see the compression of the move, right? Initial move, compression, strong buying, market makers begin to pull. They fill somebody 46, 64, more strong buying. There's still strong buying here. And then I'm wondering if. So now I'm thinking, is 25.50 going to be defended? Um, and who's going to get shaken out? Because there are a lot of buyers there that pushed price into the value area. And immediately, 26 even, they start weighing bids again, market makers, from a positive perspective. We move up on 2 and 6. The sell queue doesn't even have time to fill it at a 26.50 on the inside prints. Now there's an auction here. I'm, I'm thinking of buying, shows up again. Ignore the trade, I'm just watching the bid ask. I scratched immediately. I'm thinking of buying, shows up again. The queue might pull, and then it'll rally to the other side at least. Now it's just an auction at VPOC. There's more sellers at 26.50. There's more sellers at 26.50, but we still move up. They get absorbed, and we're on 26.75 now, and we're doing that same thing. We're up 2 ticks on total of 11 contracts of volume on the buy side. And then 12 hits 27, and they still won't weigh it. I put 2 shorts there because I fat fingered it, so just ignore me. I don't know if I meant to do that or what. It's a different animal, trading in the morning. Maybe I should give myself some time before I get on the computer. Okay, and here they pull. We're in a thin spot, 27.50, 28.25. And buyers, market makers said they don't want to provide liquidity to buyers anymore. It's a losing trade, so tape is going to run. Next shelling point is 28.50. We get up there, 37 trades, the 3 ticks, 11, 4, and 15. Price moves up 3 ticks on a total of 29 contracts. And then 28, 25, 37 trades and 12 trades. That's near 29, but it only moves up 2 ticks. 37 is more than 29, and it barely makes a budge. So market makers are willing to provide liquidity up there. That doesn't mean price is going to reverse, but it means the conditions are changing. I get short just on like a shelling. I thought I was long, and I just took a huge loss that day. See 29, okay, 29 selling at 28.25 is fine. But if it moves up 2 ticks and then it sits there at 28.75, that's the market weighing against the sellers again. This isn't the Q pulling, it's strong buying, pushing price higher. See the 44.29 that only moved price 2 ticks. Market makers are willing to provide liquidity here, and buyers are willing to trade. I flip long here, and then it immediately goes against me. That's how it should be for the most part. I get out. Buyers is still there. See 44.37. Q's pretty empty. Sell side 58.59. Price hitting and flickering the bid ask. Still strong buying, not necessarily the Q pulling, because 47 trades, 29.50. 10 and 16. Buyers dry up right there, 30 even, another shelling point. Because it's 30 even, it's a round number, and it's the end of the distribution we have there. Okay, now we see price down ticking, and it's holding. It's not up ticking anymore, or it's not, fast. It's slow. 7:24. I'm probably like emotionally fried by now. That's why I'm messing with my chart. 55 trades, sell side. We move a tick lower, and then we move lower down to 29.25 on one contract. It goes from 22 to 23. If it sits there at 29.25 on one contract, sell side, especially. Oh, okay, I was gonna say there's a 54 at 29 even, and it pulled, so there's nothing there on the bid queue anymore. If it sits there and the bid ask sits 29.25 after one contract selling, then that's kind of your sign. And also look how four trades at 29.25 right there, 14, and they can't move price up. Market makers are weighing sells stronger than buys. We hit a destination there, shelling point 30, 3 traded on the bid, so buyers dried up, or that's what I presume, unless they show up again. Strong sell pressure now. Q's thickening up because it's not moving lower on one contract anymore. 72. Buyers show up again. Q pulls. 13 trades. If the bid ask sits there, somebody plunges, he throws up 58 again. He's probably spoofing. He's almost certainly spoofing, and he's going to pull the order. That, or he wants to get filled. Um, he spoofed it. Well, I think it's still there. It's a 48. So now we're down ticking 30, 50, 30, 25 on sellers now. They're not being absorbed anymore. Conditions have shifted. 10 trades, 30, 25 buy side. They're not moving price anymore. That would have moved price back then. And the bid ask, which is the consensus between buyers, sellers, and market makers, people in the limit. So it's active participants and passive participants is sitting at 30.25. I think I took a long here, sort of continuation long, because I can't read tape. Same thing. 56 now on the bid. They piled more contracts in. Notice how we're past the shelling point, 30 even, uh, and we just had a strong move up. So there are probably traders thinking they're going to catch a continuation long here, and in reality they're late to the move, and they're going to be fuel for the move lower, price lower. And then we move lower, sell side on two contracts, 30.25 and 30 even. Then we form an auction. Strong selling pressure here again at 30. If we get above that, if price gets above that, the 96 traded at 30 even is going to be fuel for the further move up. But if we stay here, the 61 on the bid and the person who bought at 30.75 and 30.50, uh, you know, they're going to have to puke. We move lower on 6. Sellers pile in. Buyers aren't willing to participate. I'm just going to let it run. We're past the Schelling point. 2850 is the thicker part of the profile, and then it goes into a low volume node where tape will probably move faster. Tape moves slower here for the most part because it's the thicker part of the profile. There's more auctions here. Also, look, first of all, it's slow. 21, 26, 22, 42, 28. Sell side. Nobody pulled their orders at 42. Buyers are willing to provide liquidity there. And then price speeds up. Two ticks lower down to 28, 25, and 28 even. And it speeds up on low contract size, meaning buyers are getting shaky. But what I wanted to initially highlight was that this is healthy order flow, kind of. Not much on the buy side. So buyers got kind of cleaned out. But this is healthy order flow because it's slow, giving market makers time to offset their positions. And it's also strong and directional. And there's nobody pulling the queue up until down at the end of the profile, 28.50 and 28 even, which indicates market maker weakness, sell side. So if pressure persists, buyers on the market maker side are giving up. We also saw the most size traded at 28, 25, 18 on the bid than we did in the past 5 ticks. Price hasn't moved up, so it'll be faster and violent to the downside. They let 7 trade 27, 25. Sellers still piling in here, 73 traded. I clear the bid ask. I wish I didn't, but like realistically, the past 2 days I've been in no state to trade. I've effectively been gambling. My equity curve has resembled that. You know, I was thinking the other day, like not buy brawn sort of thing. BRAWN. There are plenty of kids who spend thousands of hours looking at a chart and nothing happens because they don't use their brain. So 17, 4 and 2. See how it's moving lower on low volume now? That's because they're weighing the Q differently again. They're weighing the inside prints differently again. Strong sell pressure here. Now, it's probably going to be reversion. It's probably going to be reversion because 30 even to 28.50, the move up there was more permanent because it was slower and more dense volume wise, meaning it mattered more. And so there's a lower probability of it retracing. We're probably going down to 26.50. And eventually, if selling persists, what's going to happen is the person trading 41.75, if we get lower, he's going to have to puke. He's going to join the aggressive selling, and it'll flip a switch on queue providers who are sitting behind each other on market makers, and they will pull their orders, and price will shoot. It'll shoot lower. But for now, we just watch how they're weighing the queue and whether active selling persists. Also, the auction is two-sided now. 50, 53, 37, 33. That means value is shifting lower, not from a profile perspective, but from an actual, like, present day immediate auction perspective. Aggressive sellers immediately hit it lower there. Speed of tape is increasing. But there's back ticking now, so that would make me uneasy about my trades. Especially because the bid ask is sitting 2 ticks higher than from where it was. Sellers hit again. 8-2. Okay, now we're low. I think I flip short here and get caught offside. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it moved lower 8-2 and then 13. There's an auction there, 3 ticks, 28 even, 27.50. Notice how did they let it move lower on 7 and 2? Yeah, and then immediately rallied price higher, and then okay, and the active sellers that were here, um, who pushed price down from 30 to 28.50, and then the Q pulled a little bit. They're still there, 27.50, 27.75, but it's 84.101, right? And they're not moving price anymore, so they're getting absorbed, and there's strong buying there. So this is like a cluster of stops because of how much liquidity is here. It's gonna move in one direction or the other. I've seen this already. Um, I think market makers pull here. I know market makers pull here on the ask side. I'm not going to give any reasons as to why because I already saw the tape. So there's no point in hindsight analysis. I just thought it was interesting that uh, instead of them holding price lower at 27 even though 2 and 8 traded and then price moved 2 ticks lower down to VPOC, they immediately shot it up and then it sat above 27.50 and now we're moving in the opposite direction. I got out for a 1 tick loss. I think the auction's moving lower here. Yeah, and it does. There's aggressive selling there. But then the Q pulls that are either the bid stuffs. Speed of tape increases. We're back above 27.50. So I'm kind of confused now. I don't know where it's going. Okay, and then buyers step in now. A little bit, 10, 12, 14. It's all right. Sellers get absorbed there, 27 even. The Q's going to pull to accommodate them. It's already pulling. It's moved up 3 ticks on 30 contracts, which is light. Sellers are stepping in now, but they get absorbed 28 even. I try to get out here, and that's kind of the move, 28.50. And then we form this boring distribution there. We just sit around. We can't get back into value. 47 gets absorbed here. Shelling point. That's probably a short. They hold value here. 79 auction shifts. 85 bid. So auction shifting higher now. I don't know where else it's going. I said my piece.